Save yourself. Turn that stuff off. Fill your cup up with other things, and you will see your worries and your anxieties diminish. Focus on what God is doing. Take your focus, your energy, your mind, and your heart, and put it on the activity of God, because that is what the kingdom is. Listen to what Jesus says in verse 33. Seek the kingdom of God above all else, and live righteously. And then what's he going to do? What's the promise? He's going to give you everything that you need. Another version says, seek the kingdom of God above all else, and all these things will be added unto you. What things? All the things they were worried about. Food and shelter and clothing and relationships and friendships and this and a job and all the things that we think about and worry about every single day. See, a lot of us take this verse out of the context of Matthew chapter 6, which is people being worried about everyday affairs. And we use it because it's almost like a verse that helps us to prioritize God in our life. And that's good and that's valuable. But that's not what Jesus is saying here. He's saying, you want to know what the solution to worry is? It's seeking the kingdom. Now, Dallas Willard, if you know who he is around here, if you've been around here, you know who he is. He's been a big influence in my life. He's taught us what the kingdom is. The kingdom is the activity of God. It's the presence of God. It's what God is doing. We're taught to pray, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Your kingdom come, your will be done. Where? On earth in my life as it is done in heaven. So the kingdom is God's will being done here and now. So Jesus is saying, I want you to seek, find, live in the activity of God. Fill your life with what God is doing. Focus your life on the activity of God. Wow. How does that help us with worry? Well, think about it with me. You have a limited capacity of mental energy in your life, emotional energy. We don't have endless amounts of it. You only have so much. You only have so much space, mentally and emotionally, right? Well, if that space inside of you is filled up with all of the concerns, inflation and oh my gosh, am I going to get married? Am I going to have enough money to retire? Am I going to die from COVID? Am I going to do this? If you are filling up that space with worries, well, then you're going to have a life full of anxiety. But what if you filled up that space with the activity of God? What if you sought after the action and the presence of what God was doing on earth? Here's what would happen. Because you only have so much capacity. So if you filled up that cup with the activity of God, you literally will not have enough space to worry. Here's what I'm saying. The reason why I don't struggle with worry that much, I'm not saying I don't do it. I just confess that I do it with my children sometimes. But the reason why there's not a whole lot of worry going on in my life, now, I could create it for sure because there's lots of problems in my life. But the reason why I'm not worried about a lot of stuff is because I've already filled up my cup with other things that God is doing. In other words, I am a very busy person. You want to know what one of the solutions to worry is? Here it is, ready? Be busy. That's deep. Some of you are like, I hope Pastor goes deep today. I just did. Here, watch this. If you are busy partnering with God, helping people, blessing people, praying for people, serving, if you are busy working, creating things in your spare time, you are not going to have time to sit around and brood over all the things that are concerns in your life. You literally say, I don't have time for that. Like people will tell me stuff and they're like, hey, did you hear about this or that? Aren't you worried about that? No, I don't have any time. I'm out of space. I got no space for that. There's only so much emotional capacity, mental energy that I have. And I've already filled up the cup. So when I hear, like, I don't have the space to worry about that. Seek the kingdom of God above all else, live righteously, and all these things will be added unto you. What is Jesus saying? He's saying, focus your life on the activity of God. You won't find yourself all tied up in knots, worried about everything that's going on in your life. One of the problems with anxiety and worry is, how can I say it nicely? Idleness. When you're idle, the devil will attack you. And when you turn the news on because you're idle, it gets even worse. Because how does the news get your attention? How do they do it? Fear. Some of you are you're news junkies. I'm telling you, it's not news. It is fear. They want your eyeballs. So they drop it, and they drop another bomb and another headline and another, right? Come on, save yourself. Turn that stuff off. Fill your cup up with other things, and you will see your worries and your anxieties diminish. This is good stuff.